Zero Hour hit the market at a time where there weren't too many tactical shooters out there to grab people's attention. And with its tense gunplay, unforgiving difficulty, and the tactical feel from the glory days of Rainbow Six, the game's now attracting a growing community of hardcore tactical FPS lovers.
Oh my goodness, that was clutch. Oh my goodness.
that was almost good.
And I killed the ambassador to restart.
It's not very private, is it? Look at this. I'm gonna go have a nice little sleep. While like creepy
Hello.
Joe is just like having a good sleep.
It's frosted today.
So, come on, man. That's not enough. We're the Bullet Sponges, and today we're going to be taking a look at the latest update to Zero Hour, what you can expect to find, how it changes the game, and if it's still worth your money. And if you feel like joining myself and Nex for more co-op reviews and Let's Plays, feel free to subscribe and join us each week as we review and play through all sorts of different titles. If you've been with us for a while, you know that Zero Hour is a game that we like to jump into from time to time. And as it's just past its 1 year anniversary with a pretty sizable update, we're going to be heading back in to let you know what's changed, how it feels, and whether or not it's still worth a go in the second half of 2021. If you've already played the game, you'll know that it's not a run and gun shooter. You need to plan, communicate, take your time, and expect to come up against some pretty tough resistance as you infiltrate each mission and work towards your overall objective, which can be anything from bomb defusal to hostile elimination and hostage rescue. Here, awareness and diligence go hand in hand with your reaction time and overall skill level. And that's true whether you decide to go for the PvE co-op or the PvP game modes. If you try to rush in or stop paying attention, this game is going to punish you for it. In this new update, there are 2 new maps, 4 new weapons, all of which can be customized in the main menu, skill-based matchmaking in PvP, and a bunch of other improvements to the sound and overall feel.
As Bias mentioned, we like to revisit Zero Hour now and then, particularly due to the fact that we genuinely have a great time playing the co-op portion of the game. And for every new update, we get a real sense of it shaping into something special. The development team seem to truly be on the ball with addressing concerns and just making frequent improvements to the experience. And their major update, Operation Meghna, is no exception. The update dropped in August and added new content for both the PvE and PvP modes, some of which I'll only gloss over due to the sheer amount of changes included. So let's start with the mode-specific changes, then we'll go over the ones that are more general. On the PvP side, you now have the option for skill-based matchmaking, which means some sort of MMR system that will hopefully separate the newbies from the vets, and includes leaving penalties of lost MMR if you don't wait for the end of the game. The feature itself will most likely need a bit of time before we judge as the player base increases and more people use it. The attackers now have the added option of the 5-7 and a smoke grenade to block visibility from the enemies, which also puts defenders that walk through it into a coughing state. The defenders themselves can now additionally choose to equip the Valkyrie, Bison, and a sawn-off shotty, which is a huge improvement for a side that didn't have much choice at all previously. If an enemy is downed, you can now report the body in order for your team to learn this information, a nice touch on building in features for team communication that doesn't negatively impact gameplay. Additionally, you now get a notification for players joining the match, however if it's mid-game it shows them as alive during the round they joined, which can be a little confusing. On the PvE side, we now have mini cutscenes at the start of each map, to get us in the mood for and set the tone for the mission. You can really tell a lot of research and effort have gone into this, as they do well in drawing out some sort of narrative, with our only complaint being that they weren't a little longer, quite possibly cutting out just short of truly immersing you into this scenario. And in addition, the weapons added to PvP are also available in co-op. Generally speaking, there are a number of bug fixes, changes to hostage models and animations, a tinnitus effect during continuous gunfire, improved gore, canted sights, ability to shoot out lights, and a really noticeable improvement to the audio quality across the board. So much so that our previous gripes about the game audio are just no more. In fact, they're now pretty impressive. Weapon sound effects are more unique, we now have bullet casing sounds too, and the sound fills your immediate environment appropriately. We particularly noticed the muffled shots from your squads firing on different floors, giving you much better awareness of the situation with your team. Next are a bunch of weapon and combat improvements, some new weapon attachments, foregrip, pressure pad and laser customization options, stats on the weapons themselves when setting out your loadout. The time of which you get for this I feel is still a little too short. There's an inventory system for sorting out your loadout on the fly next to a dead body, allowing you to swap out weapons or move magazines across if they use the same ammo. And finally, the 2 new playable maps. The Abandoned Hospital, an interesting map that to us really took advantage of tactical play. It has connecting corridors that can be laced with traps and enemies, with a large multi-floored open area in the middle. Here we had to switch up our strategy countless times in a different way to any of the previous maps in order to complete it, and had a load of fun getting through it. Then we have MV Meghna, a ferry-bound mission. A nice change in environment that has a simple layout, but at times has more compartmentalized engagements, as it's filled with small rooms that have compromised visibility through them due to a kind of frosted glass. The timed bomb defusal adds a nice sense of urgency to the mission, which causes you to take a less cautious approach until you're able to secure it. One thing I think is clear from these updates that we really appreciated is this authentic inspiration through aspects like the cutscenes and with the map MV Meghna being set in the Meghna River, one of the major rivers in Bangladesh. Overall, it creates a backdrop unique to 0 Hour, which really helps form the charm and character of the title, at a time where there are a few other notable competitors around the block.
So how do all of these changes impact the state of the game? The first time Next and I jumped into 0 Hour back in 2020, it was a decent tactical shooter, but it was very rough around the edges. Now in 2021, with all of the updates that we've seen so far, it's in a much better place. And while admittedly it's still not the best looking game on the market, the graphics aren't so bad that it takes away from the core gameplay. And the core gameplay is where it really shines. The tactical realism of the gunplay combined with the punishing difficulty means that this game is always intense, always at the edge of your seat, sometimes frustrating, but like all challenging games, it's really rewarding and a ton of fun. And with this latest update comes some much needed weapons, more customization options, as well as new maps to keep things fresh. I really think if the devs keep up the work they've been doing so far, this game could very well work its way to the top tier of the genre. The addition of skill-based matchmaking also means that you won't find yourself getting stomped as much in PvP, and the variations and selection that they've added to the matchmaking is a great addition to the people that want to do PvP. Overall, we still recommend 0 Hour as a tactical shooter. As always, let us know in the comments what you think of the game, or whether or not you agree or disagree with what we've said. Thanks for watching, we're the Bullet Sponges, and we'll see you in the next one.